happen. Thank you all for coming out, for sure. Thanks to Tom, certainly Amy from the CPA Society. We really are so pleased that the CPA Society and the FBI have been willing to do this partnership with us, because you really get a very, very wide expanse of what's going on. And we've gone up and down the state with this, and I have to tell you, people are serious about this. You're serious for coming out. And I think that speaks volumes about what you want to get done, and you know that there is a problem or a potential problem, and you want to avoid a problem, because remember, when you stay safe, I stay safe. So, you know, this is a good idea. If you don't watch your money and follow that money, you can get into a lot of trouble. And you don't want to do that, you know, where we've got to send the auditors out. You don't want to do that. It's just not so good. But great to see so many of you here representing so many different kinds of governmental bodies. You know, we have over 8,000 of them here in the state of Illinois, more than any other state in the union. Frankly, too many. But nevertheless, you know, if you're going to have a taxing body, you have to follow the money. And that's always going to take you to where everything happens. It's all about money. And I think some folks get a little concerned because they're kind of intimidated by budgets. They're new to the game. I mean, how many have actually gone to school and become directors of finance, and they've got advanced degrees in finance? You're probably well-intentioned people running for office to do a good job. So then it's up to you to learn as much as you can about the system, short of getting a degree where, you know, you're really a hotshot at this, but at least make sure you deal with professionals who know what they're doing, so that money and those audits and your budget is checked and rechecked so that you're safe. Because I said, otherwise it gets really, really ugly. Obviously, this just speaks volumes to your feelings about your service and what you want to do and your communities. And I think that's terrific. We've got a real good bunch here today. So in fact, we've been bowled over by the overwhelming response across the state to this series. We may have to do a follow-up, like an encore, not only for any of you who have gone through it once, but certainly to get the folks out who, for whatever reason, could not come or felt they didn't need it. Everybody needs it. I need it. I get it on a national level, and they keep sending me things, and man, I read every word, make sure that it happens. So when this comes up, maybe encourage the folks who have not come to come. And of course, we're going to have it online too. So let's say there was a legitimate reason they couldn't come, they can pick it up there. But the point is, do it. So we've been traveling today to 7 cities, yesterday and today, tomorrow as well, over 3 days here to host these workshops. Overall, we have nearly 500 people who have registered, including 174 elected leaders. Our attendees are from 64 counties, 196 cities, and they represent 303 governmental bodies. I think that is so great that you have done this. I mean, it really warms the cockles of my heart. You just don't know. For a first-time event, this is quite good. And we've gotten really good reports from the people who've already gone through it from yesterday. Some of you may know, in my former life, I was a newspaper reporter. And so government transparency and accountability has always been one of my top priorities. I'm a digger. I'm always looking for where are the trouble spots. I used to report about it. Now I got to make sure it doesn't happen to me and it doesn't happen to you. So we got to be safe. I think it's essential that records are not only available, but they're easily accessible, not only by you and your boards and the people who like to come to your meetings, but to the public at large and certainly to the press. Don't deny FOIAs. We all know what FOIAs are, Freedom of Information Act, okay? I don't like to use little abbreviations if you don't know what it is. Work with your press, make sure that the news gets out. That's what democracy is all about, making sure everybody knows where their tax dollars are going. So when I had the chance to partner with the FBI and the CPA Society to host this, for me it was a dream come true. Now the goal of this exercise is to have all of us working together to root out corruption and deliver better government for taxpayers. Now, this is not to suggest that anything you may be doing is corrupt, but sometimes things happen inadvertently. Maybe an oversight. Maybe you do have somebody who comes through your programs here, and maybe he would like to think that public dollars are theirs. So you got to keep watch to make sure that everything works and works the way it's supposed to do, and that the public is getting something for their money. You know, I don't think the public minds being taxed as long as they know they're getting services for their dollar. They don't want to see wasted dollars. They don't want to see stolen dollars. So that's where you want to be when this all comes together. So as I said, it's an ongoing effort. Every day you look at it. And I don't, you know, sometimes I think when we're new to the game, we get a little intimidated by what we see with the budgets and a lot of numbers and what does it all mean and all that. This kind of gets you through in as simple a way as possible so we all know what we're doing and we know how to get there. Now, as State Controller, I've launched a program called The Ledger. It's online, you can get it. So anyone can go there at Illinois Controller, one word, Comptroller. They use it the old British way with a P. Comptroller, but I say it the all-American way, which is controller. And as I point out, I'm kind of a janitor. I clean up after people. So, you know, you could probably do IllinoisJanitor.com, but it won't get to me. But anyway, IllinoisComptroller.com, and see our bill backlog. You'll see our daily receipts. And of course, you'll see state employees' salaries. Those go up there as well. And you don't even have to get out of your jammies. You can do it at home and see all these things. It gives you a good perspective of what's going on. Not only that, you see what we see at the same time we see it. So in effect, you're kind of an ex officio of us, the Controller's Office, to see where the state's going with this. Then we launched something called the Warehouse. And that's where you'll find every local government's financial report. And it gives you the opportunity to compare communities, to see how you're doing with the neighboring community, how you're doing with the neighboring county. It really is quite a nice looking, easy to read layout, done by, I would tell you, our folks in the Controller's Office at no extra cost, no outside consultants, with some of the oldest computers in existence. But we get it done. Sometimes it takes a little more time, but literally with the state's financial situations, we can't buy all the new equipment we need. I think many of you are probably in the same boat. So, you know, you work with what you got. Now, most recently, we've created an insert that we put into every tax refund, and we make available online so that taxpayers can see a breakdown of state spending and other important financial information, including the bill backlog. So that's going out as well. It's also a way that we show you in available time online when the tax refund is coming, so you can track it. You don't have to worry, you can see it coming and when it's going to come. Now, we've made some real strides, and I can't tell you how pleased I am to see that you're here trying to do the same thing. You know, no jurisdiction is too big not to go through this. None is too little to do this. We all owe it to our taxpayers. Now, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The more set of eyes that we have on what all of us are doing, be it you, your constituency, the citizenry, the press, the better off we are. Because if there's anything brewing, somebody's eyes are going to catch it before it gets to be something ugly. And you can either stop it or, you know, not let it start to begin with. The more accountable I think we are, the more watching, and I'm sure there's probably people who don't like to be watched this much, but it's public dollars. So it's a different ballgame than your own money. Hopefully you're watching your own money as well, but it's someone else's money. You have to treat it with great respect. So that's what Follow Money, our little series, is all about. Just constantly follow the money. Now, some people think that this was all about Dixon, Illinois. Dixon, as you know, went through 20 years with a treasurer there who really had a good scam going, and she stole millions upon millions of dollars, lived very high off the hog, and because it was a closed system and she could do it, the only thing that tripped her up was she went on vacation, and someone else opened the mail and discovered she had an account. She lived, I mean, I asked people in Dixon, I said, didn't you wonder how she was living so high off the hog? I mean, this was a little town. It's not that big. Surely she stood out. Well, they all thought she inherited money, and she did nothing to dispel that. So they all thought it was on the legit, and they starved for 20 years. No money. Now I think it's probably the only well-funded, flush town in the whole state of Illinois because their insurances come through, they've sold all her assets, they've paid their pension bills, they've got everything going, got money. But you don't want to go through 20 years of misery. It's not all about Dixon, but that's kind of the big poster child. That's the high end of this. You never want it to get to that point. Stop it quickly. Cut the cancers out quick. So I thank you all for being here. I hope you'll ask a lot of questions, take a lot of notes, tell your colleagues so that we pass it around. When you get back to your communities, if you think of other information that you need or you want, or maybe we didn't cover or you forgot to ask and now in the middle of the night it comes to you, please pick up the phone and let us know. We don't use voicemail, so you will talk to real people, and real people will help to solve your problem. And if we can't solve it, we'll find who does solve it if it's solvable. So always keep in touch. We're always happy to talk to you. We do not consider you pesky. We really want to hear from you. In fact, if you're being successful and just doing well, tell us that too. We're kind of happy to know that you're okay out there. So working together, I think we can turn Illinois into a national leader here for good government and transparency. It's an overused word, but you can't use it enough. You have to be able to see in and make it all happen. So once again, I thank you very much for coming, for really, first of all, for running for office, for going out and doing the public service you do. I think the public at large doesn't know how much time and effort all of your service is, how little, if anything, you get compensated for it. And I just appreciate it because I think what you do is pretty darn swell. So thank you very much. Go for it, learn something, and let us know if you have any questions. God bless you all.